Now we will be doing our tote bag. So the measurement we have for our tote bag is 22 by 16 inches. All right, so I'm just gonna measure to, so 22 inches is the width. Exactly, I'm using my Bristol board here, and I wanna sharp a straight natural edge. So, all right, so I'm just gonna follow that. So I'm just gonna come here. 22 is my width, so I'm just gonna start here. And then my height is about 16. If you want, you could go higher than that, of course. I just pretty much have it here, 16 to the edge of the paper here. So 16, yeah. Okay. So I'm gonna measure, you know, I'm gonna just measure 22 across now. Oh, let's go 22. All right. 22. Okay. So there's my 22 here, and I'm just gonna join my 22 pretty much. Okay. All right. So 22, I join it here. And this here now gonna be my 16 inch, okay? So I'm just gonna measure it across here. So just go 16 inches all the way up. Okay. Okay. Okay, so this is my tote. So the width is 22 and the height is 16. Height is 16, right? Okay. So now what I'm gonna do here, I have to put a pocket, right? So I'm gonna put the outer pocket. So I'm just gonna get half of 22 to find the middle part here. Just get half of 22 here, just to make sure I find the middle part. So I can position my pocket nicely. Okay. And you can make any size pockets, but I'm just gonna make a small pocket. I'm just gonna go, the height of the pocket is gonna be, sorry, the width of the pocket is 7, all right? So I'll go 3.5 for my pockets from the middle, and it's a 7 inches pocket, right? 7, just gonna go, we can go 7 by 7, so 7 by 7, okay? 7 width, 7 height. Again, the pocket, you could always play around with the pocket. There's not too much restriction with the pocket. Okay, so what I'm gonna do, just gonna mark this up here, and then I'll measure that. So I did made an error, but I want you to look on and observe the error, and at the end I would correct it. Just to let you know. use this like this to measure it 7 down. Okay, and it had to be 7 up. Okay, guys, so I just realized I forgot to go up 2 inches for my pockets. Okay, so yeah, just to let you know that you need to go up 2 inches for your pockets. So this here, it's a good thing I want to make sure that you watch this video first before you actually attempt it. So I would have to go up 2 inches because I don't want my pockets to pretty much reach the bottom of my bag. So I would have to go up 2 inches. So this is what I'm gonna do. So this is a 2 inches up gauge. Just gonna mark it here. Right? So therefore this line is non-existent. So I'm just gonna do a line here. So you could just to make sure you have 2 inches up. Okay. So this is non-existent here. So 2 inches up, right? So therefore I have to go 2 inches up again, right? Because it's 7 by 7, right? For my right, so 7 by 7. And the reason why I'm doing this, and I could have easily edited out because I want to show you that sewing is fun. You make mistake, you don't panic, you just continue. That's the reason why I didn't edit it out. I want you to see that mistake could happen, but it's not something that you could panic about. It's something, and the reason why I'm saying that is because I am a sewing instructor, and sometimes students will panic if they got a little extra here or extra there. So hence the reason why I didn't cut out this video, this part. I want you to see that things happen and it's okay. Just have fun with your sewing project. Okay. All right. So there is it here. And again, this is just a guide I'm making. All right. This is only an inner guide I'm making for my, yeah, so it's only an inner guide. Just making sure I have 2 inches up here. So right here and here. Perfect. Right here. Excellent. All right. It's actually fun when you make things from scratch. So I'm happy that you're actually making your own bag pattern from scratch. Yeah. Okay, so this is the position I will need. And again, we will go ahead and do our 1/2 inch. So I'll jot, 1/2 inch all the way around. Okay. Because that's our seam allowance along the bag. Okay, so 1/2 inch here and 1/2 inch all around. So of course this would be the bottom of the bag and this would be the top part of the bag, right? So I'm just gonna put my 1/2 inch gauge here. So I just make sure it's 1/2 inch. Okay, just make sure it's 1/2 inch. So 1/2 inch gauge all around from your tote bag. Okay, so I'm gonna cut in a bit, but before I cut, I wanna write. So I want 2, so cut. I'm just gonna write it here so you can see. So cut 2 fabric. Okay, and then cut 2 lining and cut 2 pellon interfacing. Okay, and then I'm gonna go in here to make my grain line, because it's gonna be on the grain, straight on the grain. And one more thing I have to do here now, I want to make sure that I have a square cut in here on the back. So I know I put the seam allowance and everything, but we're going to go ahead and put a square cut here. I want you to do it step by step. So if you don't want to box your bag, you could just leave it like that. You just go ahead and just sew it down regularly like this. Or if you want to make your bag have a beautiful, nice tailored box collar, this is the next step you would do here. Okay, so just on the edge here, you would come 2.5 inch in. All right, so we will go in here to box it over corner, 2.5 inch by 2.5 inch. Okay, so 2.5 inch here. So you're gonna go in 2.5 inch. All right. Okay, so this would cut out. So 2.5 inch. By 2.5 inch. Okay, so do this on this side. Okay, so I just had to cut out this side so you could see. So I did a 2.5 inch up here. Now with this 2.5 inch, now you want to just do 1/2 inch seam allowance around it, right? Because you would need your seam allowance. So 1/2 inch seam allowance, right? 1/2 inch seam allowance. All right. All right, so 1/2 inch, 1/2 inch. Okay, all right, so we're cutting this out anyway. All right, so do the exact same thing on the other side. So let me just slide here, so 2.5 inch up, or 2.5 inch in. Right, so I'm gonna make sure it's fully 2.5 inch. Okay. Then, because this part you have to cut it out, right? Okay, that's pretty much it. And again, your seam allowance, of course, would be your 1/2 inch seam allowance. Right, okay, so now we're just gonna trim all that box corner. That's pretty much it. it. Okay, so this is my pattern. So this, what I will do now is to make the strap and the pocket pattern. Remember, this is just a guide, right? And remember, this is not there. This is non-existent. This is the pattern here. And we go 7 by 7, right? So if you want, you could cut out, you could make, when you make the pocket pattern, you could also make one for the inside. I will just do one pocket itself, but let's go ahead and cut out the patterns, the rest of patterns. All right, so we'll make the pockets pattern now, 7 by 7 for our tote. Okay. And again, you could always make different if you want a bigger one or a smaller one, but just a regular pockets we put in. Okay, so now let's go ahead and put, we're just doing a guide here. Okay, then we're gonna go 7 inches across. Right, and then we're just gonna kind of have a guide for 7 inches up, right? Okay, and I'm just gonna follow. Right, so I'm just gonna use this guide now to make 7 inches across. Just try and base it so your pocket doesn't come out slant. I just want to make it nice and even. 7 by 7. Right. Okay. So again, the inner side and the inside of the pocket. I'm gonna go all the way around. And this pocket again is gonna be on a fold. And then we'll just put a fold here. Fold bracket. So you just cut one on a fold. Okay, and this could go for inner and outer. We're just gonna make one pockets, but this could both go for both, and then I'll just trim it out here. All right, so then we'll be making our strap lastly. Okay, so the last strap I have to do now is the Pellon, the bag strap. We're gonna put Pellon in it as well. So the tote bag strap, we just need to make the pattern here. So I am gonna start on a straight line here. And guys, every time you're doing a pattern, just make sure you take your time and make sure you measure. Like I just have scraps of paper here, so I just wanted to use them. But you want to also always start with a guide. And if you could get a straight edge to start with, that is perfect. It makes life way easier. Okay, so I'm just gonna start. Just gonna go over here. Okay, so from that guide, I'm gonna go 4 inches because the length of my strap is 20. I have 28 by 4 inches width. Okay, so I'm just gonna go down with my 4 inches width here. All right, I'm just gonna push it down with you so you can see what I'm doing as I go down. I'm gonna slide my way down here. I'm gonna come all the way down, and then we're gonna just measure the, okay. So now, this is my length. Here. So I just go 28 to 28 down here, right? So 28 here. I'm just gonna pull out a line up for my 28 here. All right. Okay, perfect. So what I will do is to try to join this, and then I'll remeasure again. I'm just gonna join all this here. Okay. Okay. So my edge here is straight, so I could just continue with that straight edge. Okay, so 28. 28 is my strap. I hope you can see that here for 28 here. All right, and then the width, that's the length. The width is about 4 inches. Okay, so for my strap now, let me just write it here, and I'm gonna cut it out last. So the strap, I need 2 pieces because I need 1 for each side of the bag. So I'm gonna put cut 2 for my strap. So cut 2 fabric and cut 2 bag pellon interfacing. Okay, and then I want to make my grain line. So I'm just gonna make my grain line right. Just gonna measure the edge of this ruler here from my line here, and I'm gonna make a line here, and this is gonna be my grain line. Okay, and then I'm gonna go ahead and cut. All right, so then we will see the final work before we actually cut out the fabric. So there's one more piece we have to do for the bag, the tote bag, is a zipper part. We have to make a 2.5 inch edge. So we're just gonna clone this edge here. So 2.5 inch down from this edge. We're gonna clone it. Exact as it is. All right, so 2.5 inches here. And it's the same thing we're gonna do on the other side here. Make sure it's 2.5 inch. And then we're gonna cut it out. That's pretty much it. Just clone that edge here. So what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna trace this. Okay. All right. So that's it, and I'm just gonna straighten it out here. I don't know if you can see because this pencil I have here. Okay, so I just want to make sure that I have 2.5 inch all the way through. So I'm just gonna do it this way, so it's easier. So 2.5 inch here. 2.5 inch here, so this is exactly 2.5 inch. 2.5 inch here. So this is exactly at the 2.5 inch mark. Okay, this is exactly at it, and this is exactly at it. Okay, so I'm just gonna take my ruler and just straighten out the parts that it's wasn't there. Okay. All right. All right, so I'm gonna cut it out and label it, and then you will see how it looks, the final piece.